So mainstream modern science is bridging that gap, just as the transitional period from whatever happened to Sumer, the disappearance, to from an ordered society we find from the cylinder seals and from the antiquities record, over to a disordered society with corruption and warfare. All the rest of them followed after Sumer, which is associated with the biblical Eden. It seems that science is starting to realize that instead of life as we know it building from simple building blocks, and then gradually given enough time, space, and matter over enough time period, they become complex forms of life like us, has been abandoned, you'll be glad to know, because they seem to think now that there's no way that that can happen. They found in one cell in your body and mine, one tiny living cell in our body, they found dozens of new machines, one like a helicopter propeller, and the rest of them little tiny parts. They found hundreds of these, and floating around doing their job in the flagellum, and they found out if you take just one of those tiny machines away, that we don't stop working right, we stop working at all. Period. We just don't work anymore. And they've changed from, they've bridged the gap through intelligent design, that intelligence came first, then matter. And that agrees. That agrees with all my findings, and I have been a devoted student of sciences. Lately, I have been correlating my books. My latest one is Authenticating Antiquities Record. And I've been taking all the records of antiquity, the records of ancient Sumer, going back 6,000 years or better, in cylinder seals and what have you, and documents and stones. And it doesn't matter what civilization it is. Also, China has them. They find record. They're just digging up more and more records in ancient cities. And but Sumer, Babylon, Assyrian, they dug up like hundreds of clay tablets under the mounds in Iraq. All of it showing advanced technologies, astronomy, cosmology, mathematics, and these tablets, one of them is called the Nineveh consonant. And we go back to cities like Nimrod had established right after the flood, the Tower of Babel, the Great Ziggurat of Babel, the Great Ziggurats in Egypt, and we find a technology that surpasses ours today. And then we go to the records of Sumer, and Sumer says they had an ordered society that was delivered to them and taught to them by the Anunnaki, those who from heaven came to earth. And you find a continuity in the record of all these ancient civilizations, the Assyrian records, clay tablets and seals, the Babylonian record, and all the way back to Sumer. You find these basic foundations. Number one, there was a cosmic war in heaven. Number two, as a result of that warfare, the Project Earth was created. Number three, Project Earth, because it became hijacked, taken hostage, there was a result, a fall. The result was a fall. And that's in all the records. And also in all the records, whether it be the Babylonian 7 cantos of creation is the record of creation, whether it be the Sumer, the Assyrian, all testify of the 7 days of creation. They all also testify of a planet, the 12th planet, called Nibiru, Planet X. And if you want to get up to speed on that, visit Brother Martell's website, Jason Martell, xfax.com, or Zachariah Sitchin, or Eric von Däniken. And they will give you overwhelming evidence by the records. The rocks are crying out, as Christ stated in the New Testament, and the record is overwhelmingly agreeing on foundational truths. Also, after the fall, as mentioned, a tree of life and humanity being banned from it. Tree of life meaning everyone is interested in where they come from. Give enough time in a conversation with anyone, if you spend enough time with them, they're going to start talking about Grandpa and their roots. Everybody's interested in origins. Well, our origins, believe it or not, are of a spiritual nature. It's just that spiritual nature became disrupted. It became thrown off balance, just as the balance of nature. You know, the earth is a beautiful place, but it goes through periods of violence and earthquakes, and they're predominant. And all the signs Christ mentioned in the New Testament, volcanoes, storms, great hurricanes, unprecedented natural disasters that we've been having on a biblical scale lately. And they're all getting more intense and more frequent. And all the signs are converging and just happening all at once. So we know then that if violence and cycles are on the earth, then they're also in the heavens. And we know this by exploding stars, supernovas, stars being, after they go through one condition, everything has a prior condition before the condition that we have now. That's true of all physical matter. And so then they go through cycles. Some stars become brown dwarfs, white dwarfs, red giants, but the large ones, after they explode into violence through a process we know of, they change into what we call black holes, which goes back to the very big. That singularity is something that is related to the birthing point of the universe itself. So science is in agreement, just as the record is. Just as all the records of antiquity, science is in agreement over some things now. Those things are, it seems that Darwinian evolution cannot explain the complexity, what they call now irreducible complexity. They found out so many things, biochemists have, biologists now, about our cells and the complexities of our body, that they're saying now these cannot be explained by Darwinian evolution. We're in a new era. And I predicted this. Back when I was young, I would tell my buddies this, that I was playing music with the bars with and following the ways of the world, but I would tell them what I knew about God and science, and I would tell them the day is coming when the gap will be bridged. I told them, and I'm seeing that in my time. Before the Lord's letting me see that, so I praise Yahweh for that. Okay, we established that there was a war. Let me go over this again. As a result of the great cosmic conflict, and the Hebrew record gives you the cause of that conflict. It's over the divine oracles that kept the unity, peace, and harmony in the universe. As a result of spiritual warfare, and probably high-tech warfare, as a result, the spirit of rebellion against what was keeping harmony in the universe had an impact on all physical matter in the cosmos, and that's why we see violence in the visible cosmos, in the stars in the heavens, and that's why we see it on earth, and that's why we see it among peoples in the nations of earth. There will be a restitution. God had to be careful how he handled the questions that came up among heavenly beings, and he did it very carefully. Most people think, why ain't God doing this? Why is God letting this happen? Why is all this coming upon the earth? Because God is allowing sin to run its course. You can call it what you want. I like calling it disorder. God is allowing disorder caused by the angelic band of angels, the dissidents that caused the cosmic conflict, the war in heaven. He's allowing the spirit of rebellion to run its course, so all created beings will see that his way is love, and that his law is the best for all created beings. God is very careful about how he handles things. That's why he's all sovereign, all present. There's a great cosmic intelligence that loves us so much that he came down here and died for us. I believe this because He's given me the power over physical habits, over substance abuse.